I'm Kim.
I'm Brad.
We're 626 Ohana, California, and today is our travel day to Walt Disney World.
So yeah, we'll keep you up with our day. Hopefully you can hear us over the mass. We're a little late getting to the airport, so we have a lot of things going wrong. But hopefully everything will be going right by the time we get to Orlando. So let's get going. So just like that, we're now in t-shirts and we're in Florida, 4.5 hours later.
And of course, if you haven't figured it out by now, we are staying at the Villa's Grand Floridian.
Yep.
So that's our first part of our split stay of our bucket list trip. So it's amazing when you get to take a monorail to the Magic Kingdom.
And we'll show you pictures of the monorail right now, the section on partitions. So that's kind of interesting. So I think we're gonna head off to Magic Kingdom, get our passes. We'll let you know how that goes and everything else.
And then we'll head off to dinner because we didn't really eat today on the flight.
No, they gave us a box.
Like snacks.
And we'll talk about that later. So last you saw us, we were getting on the monorail and going to the Magic Kingdom. Those dividers, that's kind of interesting. It makes you feel like in a weird compartment.
It's weird because there was one other group on like diagonal from us, but it didn't seem like anybody else was on with us. It
kind
was
of felt
weird.
like dressing rooms. Does that make sense?
That's a good idea. Okay, but Brad did point out they look temporary because they're like with the
zip ties.
Zip ties, yeah.
So it looks like they're ready to take them down anytime they can. So from there, we ended up going over to Magic Kingdom, and we needed to get our passes renewed. Kim and I were Premier Pass holders before, and unfortunately, with the sunsetting of the Disneyland passes, it sunset our Premier Pass. But Disney World was saying, yeah, you can go ahead and renew your pass, and we renewed as a DVC member.
So that was nice. We were able to do that. It didn't take too long. It was pretty simple.
So yeah, there was a little confusion because we have a little bit of confusing our contract's a little confusing with addresses. So
yeah,
it caused a little confusion. But once we got figured out,
it wasn't that big a deal.
Went nice and smooth, and they're active as today. Now, the reason we did a Magic Kingdom and not at Disney Springs was we knew we were going to be late getting in, so we didn't think it was going to be that busy. I think we had like 2 or 3 people in front of us.
Groups. So it wasn't that big a deal, and we wanted to go into Magic Kingdom, so if we would have gone down to Disney Springs, it was way out of the way, so it made sense for us to go to Magic Kingdom and do it.
Yeah, so we got to walk down Main Street.
That was amazing. Yeah, that was just overwhelming.
And the funny part is so weird because a week ago we were at Disneyland's Main Street, and it just feels weird, I guess is the way to put it.
Some things are similar and some are different, but sometimes it's just a very strange feeling if you're used to both parts.
Yeah. So we're kind of doing this as a kind of partial vlog and partial talk. So it may seem a little bit weird with the cut-ins. It's something new we're trying. Please let us know down below in the comments below if you like it.
Then we went and we got to ride Haunted Mansion, and that was amazing. We loved it, but they have you bypass the stretching room, which is fine.
Yeah, you just kind of walk right through, and it's one of those things that we forgot, as unlike California's Haunted Mansion, where you actually go down an elevator, that you don't actually go anywhere in this elevator.
You just walk through the room right through the other side, so it kind of ruined that illusion a little bit. It wasn't.
But the wait time was only 15 minutes.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
And during an all summer day, that's
half hour, 45 minutes
at least. So that was nice. We did notice the wait times of some of the rides when we were walking around were varying. And it was like Mine Train was 40 minutes, but Peter Pan was 45 minutes, which was weird.
And it's really weird because it now circles way back and it looks like it'd take forever.
Yeah. So we'll find out more when we actually get more time in the parks of it, and we'll let you guys know in our wrap up of things, total wrap up of tips and tricks of the whole parks. So the other thing is that we did get quick ice cream because, well, we were hungry and we needed something.
We hadn't eaten really much more than snacks since early morning, so we were starved.
And to let you know, our flight, we did have some issues with our flight, so that's why we weren't doing a whole bunch at the airport. So when we flew from LA and got into Orlando, as far as Delta the flight was okay, but they're not.
The flight was great.
Yeah.
And actually, I was impressed because they went through and the flight crew, the flight attendants, they would actually go through with like Lysol wipes and wipe down the whole bathroom. So I was impressed with that.
The only thing we weren't impressed with is when we checked in. We checked in at Terminal 2 at LAX, and if anybody knows about LAX, it's kind of a confusing airport, and they said, "Oh, you have to go over to Tom Bradley."
Well, it's under construction, so they told us we could go and take a train, but there was a long line to get through TSA to go over, or we could walk over and it'd be quicker. And
go
so
to Tom Bradley, and so we walked over to Tom Bradley. Well, the thing they forgot to tell us is TSA doesn't open till 6, and our flight was supposed to start boarding at 6:20.
Well, okay, the confusing part first is you get to Tom Bradley, and there's nothing but construction crews around. And you're looking around, you walked in, and the first terminal we walked in, like area where the gates were, there was nobody.
Which is weird for Tom Bradley, because that's an international.
I've never seen anything like it, and I thought we walked into a ghost town.
Yeah. So,
which in LA, there's no such thing as a ghost town.
But for the most part, people were. I didn't feel over crammed or anything at LAX, did you?
A little bit, but not too bad.
Where I did feel overcrammed was, and this is on our when we landed, and this is the bad part, is if you're going to Orlando, prepare for a mess.
Okay, so this is our first trip since they've taken away the Magical Express where they bring it to your room. So that's kind of a rude awakening in its own because we've been spoiled for so long.
Having our luggage delivered right to your room.
Without even thinking about it. But, so we went downstairs, and I feel like probably they have less staff back, and they aren't used to that amount of luggage going through carousels.
Yeah, so they had five or six flights going to one, supposedly at one carousel, and then another carousel they had the same thing, and the rest of the carousels weren't being used, which was weird.
Yeah, so they were all empty, but everybody was crowded. I mean, literally as tight as Brad as I am now.
And if you're familiar with LAX, again, like we're saying here, as we are, it made LAX luggage like a breeze compared to what this was.
It was kind of a chaotic mess, and then our carousel kept having issues and whatnot, and
so they changed it to another one and didn't tell anybody.
And so finally somebody from our flight went and looked around and came back with their luggage and told everybody, which was very nice.
Yeah, they did.
But we wasted probably about 20 minutes doing that.
It was we waited for over 40 minutes for our luggage.
Was it? Wow.
Yeah, it was 40 minutes. We did have a private car take us to the resort this time because we heard the Magical Express being backed up, and we could see it was backed up today. So I
didn't feel like, and I'd seen on social media everywhere it'd been backed up times for 2.5 hours. That does not sound like a magical start to my vacation. So we decided to go and use Quicksilver Tours and give them tours and transportation, and I decided to give them a try, and they had good service. I had really great experience on the phone, and with Delta I had to change our flights twice, so they were really easy to accommodate and fix things, which was nice.
Yep, it was okay.
And our driver patiently had to wait while this luggage fiasco was going on.
And I give him full credit for waiting because he was very patient.
He never said a word, didn't complain, nothing. Was very helpful, very nice.
Because that had to be costing him time.
Oh yeah, he had been frustrated as all get out.
Yeah, and then he did come up because this has been happening a lot. Is that they've been switching carousels. So if you're going into Orlando, be aware that your carousel could change, and you won't even know it. They won't change the board, and we won't do anything.
It just magically shows up somewhere else, and it's confusing.
Anybody. They don't tell anybody. They don't have their representative tell anybody or nothing.
Yeah, so that's something that definitely some things need to be worked out on.
And again, this is our driver said because that's been happening a lot. So be prepared.
So
but as far as
the drive here was easy.
Yeah, it was easy. We got to the Grand Floridian. Kim already had a message on her phone, which is unusual for DVC at 3
We've never gotten a room before 4 o'clock before. Last time we got it like 9 o'clock at night, so this was a vast improvement.
Yeah, and so we got our DVC room. We walked right in. We will be doing a room tour, so we'll be on the lookout for that. And also a resort tour later on, so we'll put that. And then that's how we ended up in Magic Kingdom after all that. Sorry, we got a little out of order here.
So, anyways, after we did got our ice cream treats, we were gonna go over to the Fort Wilderness.
Yep, and
I wanted to do some shopping at the outpost at the front.
So we got on a boat, and the boats are a little bit confusing right now. So you really gotta read those signs because we actually were so used to going into the boat,
old way.
Old way that scares like, where are you going? They were like, they go, no, you can't.
We were trying to go through the exit.
Oops.
Whoops.
But we figured it out, got there, and I'll show you what happened.
Okay, Something about Disney lately. Sometimes resort stores are not open exactly as late as you think they are or where you want them to be open. So we're definitely gonna have to be flexible this trip compared to others and kind of learn as we go.
And so, yeah, they were closed. So another thing to be aware of is with everything going on,
the hours are varying, and so we were gonna run out of time, so we literally had to go back and get another boat back. Oh,
and we just missed the boat that we were on leaving.
So the other thing we found out is the boats are not going. There's usually a little resort circle going between the Fort Wilderness, Wilderness Lodge, and the Contemporary. And because of lack of cast members, like they haven't brought them all back from being furloughed, they're not doing that right now.
Yeah, what we were being told is they're actually bringing them back, but they all have to be retrained, and it's taking time as they bring them back online. So for a little while, you may not have that service. A tip he did give us, because sometimes if you do ask the captain if they could stop by one of them,
sometimes they may. It kind of just depends on the busyness and when and all that. Yeah. So then after that, we got back to the Magic Kingdom. We actually met some really nice people, so we had a great talk. And then we hopped back on a boat over to Wilderness Lodge.
So 4 boats.
Yeah.
And so
we really enjoyed the Seven Seas Lagoon, and there was a beautiful sunset.
Yeah.
So that was a plus side.
But we got to Wilderness Lodge. We were a little bit early for our reservations, so Kim and I had to go by and go to our favorite spot where we usually measure Hayden at. In front of the Wilderness Lodge Mercantile.
They have like a totem pole of Mickey, Minnie, or no, Minnie's not there. It's Goofy.
It's just a totem pole of all the characters, and we usually have Hayden. That's our yearly tradition to have Hayden
stand in front of it, so it kind of measures his growth.
Yeah, and for those
it's our Disney growth chart.
So for those who haven't watched our announcement, it's been over 17 years since Kim and I have come alone to Disney World.
So, yeah, it's a very odd thing coming as a couple versus going as parents.
So we kind of missed the kid, but
we're making the most out of it.
Yes. So anyways, we went and had dinner. Be on the lookout for that review.
So we had dinner at Whispering Canyon Cafe, which was perfect.
Yeah, and our cast member, what was her name?
Allie.
I'm sorry. Was one of our cast member shout outs. She was very nice. She stayed in the spirit. Obviously, they're not doing the ketchup anymore.
Or the jail. So she really was able to embody that former spirit that was there and was really amazing.
Yeah, and then she
made it fun.
And she also gave some information on the food and wine festivals, the flower and garden festivals and stuff that was going on.
We had a great conversation.
And things to try. So we really appreciate that. So from there, we took the boat again, 5 boat rides. Back to Magic Kingdom, and at this point we finally asked the security officer, goes, because we're trying to get back to the Grand Floridian from the Magic Kingdom. He goes, at this time of night, the park just closed about 20 minutes ago, because you're better off walking. So
we walked back, and actually tonight has been really cool for a temperature-wise for Florida compared to normal.
It was warm, but it wasn't too cold.
It was perfect.
We went over the new bridge. That walkway it wasn't a bad walk.
No, it wasn't. It was really peaceful.
Yeah, and the lines
we were the only ones on the trail. I think at the beginning we ran into one other person, and other than that, we didn't see anybody.
Nobody until we got to the Grand Floridian.
Yeah.
So
it was kind of a romantic stroll back.
Yeah. So that was our day. I know it doesn't seem exciting, but we learned a lot, and there's a lot of information that we've kind of picked up.
Yeah, but when we got back to the Grand Floridian, we went to Gasparilla's Grill and got our refillable mugs.
I forgot about that.
And they really want you to mobile order everything. We did not. We are still, I guess, stuck in our old ways.
Don't need a mobile order. You just walk in and buy. Yeah, so
they did.
And you're going through the wrong exit doors again.
Yeah, I have to get used to that weird one-way entrance exit. After you've done this so many times, it's just going to take a moment. I got to think about this a little bit more.
But anyways, we bought our mugs. They were $19.95 each. They do not give you a discount on it if you have a DVC or pass holder discount. And what they do is they give you the mugs, and then you go over and they do the Coke freestyle that way, and you just tell them what you want. And
so they refill it for you still here. Some of the resorts some of the resorts are not doing the cast member refills. You can go use the soda machines yourself, But this is a freestyle Coke machine, so that might have something to do with it.
Yeah, so we'll see. We'll find out when we go
Our
to
next
We'll
resort.
find out because we are doing a resort hub, and we told you guys this was one of our list resorts.
Oh
It
my
is.
goodness.
It's one of two. We actually have 2 bucket lists we're going to kill on this trip.
So yeah, you guys will have to follow along and see what our other bucket list resort and room is. I feel like it's surreal.
So please like, subscribe.
And follow along with our Ohana.
And I think with that, we're going to call it a long good night and get to bed because we've been up since 4:45 and now it is 11 o'clock.
Well, and we woke up at 4:30 California time and we're going to sleep 11:30 at Florida time.
Okay. So it's time for us to get back. See how tired I am? So it's time for us to say goodbye and
Find your magic. Bye everyone.